September is Emergency Preparedness Month, so we thought that this was a good chance for citizens to think about what it is that they need to prepare for. What is a risk assessment in the city of Wheat Ridge, and what do they need to have in place as far as their kits, their preparedness plan, how they're going to take care of their family pets and their loved ones. So from the police department standpoint, we feel like it's our opportunity to help get this message out and help citizens take care of themselves.
As a Wheat Ridge citizen, there could be several different emergencies that crop up. Always a good idea to be prepared. In case of an emergency, it might take time for the emergency responders to get there. So as being prepared, you might be able to take over until they get there.
At the time of an actual disaster, the police department resources and the fire department resources are going to be spread pretty thin. Citizens themselves need to have a plan for what they're going to do so that they can help themselves in the time of the disaster.
A 72-hour emergency kit is an important element that every family should have. We've actually recommended that every family member has their own emergency kit packed and ready to go if they need to leave their home or if they need to shelter in place for an extended period of time. It's important for everyone to build an emergency kit. We at the Colorado Office of Preparedness have put together a pack-a-kit brochure which will help you to assemble that kit. You can either do this on your own, or you can purchase it through the American Red Cross. Some of the items you would like to have would be a flashlight, a battery-powered radio, important papers, mortgage documents, title papers, things that are going to be critical when you start to reestablish your life. A container to store water, water itself. For those of us that have medical needs, it's important that you write out all of your medications, your allergies, your important medical history in what we call the file of life. Also, medications and a list of those medications that you've included in your file of life would be important. Food clearly is important. This is concentrated food that's provided through the American Red Cross if you were to purchase the pack through them. But clearly you could choose your own food that you could add into the container. Some items just for personal toiletries. A first aid kit, very important. A light stick that can be used for additional illumination. Duct tape, always great to have a roll of duct tape. There are so many different uses for that. If you have animals, important to bring along food for the animals, dogs and cats. Obviously, these are a lot of different materials. If you need assistance putting your kit together, go to readycolorado.com, and that will also link you to our partners at the Red Cross. We really would like our citizens to be proactive and develop a family plan. And the family plan is about developing a communications plan with the folks that you live with in order to be reunited and communicate during a disaster. We also would like them to consider their pets and be prepared to shelter in place with their pets and have those supplies that would allow their pets to be comfortable in an emergency situation.
As we train for disasters here in the city of Wheat Ridge, we consider both the man-made disasters as well as the natural disasters. Power outages are a big concern. So many people have medical needs that it's essential for them to have power these days. A major power outage could be from a winter storm, from a tornado. One of the things that we do when we train, we not only train from the incident command standpoint, that would be the command post out in the field, but also from an emergency operations center. That's where you'd have more of a support function and you'd have more expertise in an off-site location that could be ordering resources or providing guidance. One of the things that we've done this year to help the citizens prepare is during the Citizens Police Academy, we brought in Bill Tolbert, who's an expert in the Are You Prepared program. Bill talked about the importance of people having their own kit and their own plan for in the case of disasters. And hopefully those citizens are also spreading the word to their neighbors so that we have neighbors prepared.
The reason that we're going to talk about this today is because it's so important to you individually and as a group, whether you call that a family or a church or a community. Well, we found historically that you can't parachute in and help people during a disaster. They have to be able to handle the first 72 hours on their own. And so to do that, they need to understand what the environment is, what the risks are, what they can do to put a good plan together, and what a kit looks like that would help get them through the first 72 hours of an emergency. Less than 1% of the people in your community are part of police, fire, emergency medical. And that 1% gets soaked up very quickly. The amount of time that everything in the store rolls over at least once. It's less than 72 hours. That store, if it doesn't have trucks coming to the back door on a daily basis, is empty in 72 hours. Everything that we have to decide while we're sitting quietly at the kitchen counter is written on this card, and a copy of it is in each of our cars, briefcase, purse. My grandkids have them in their school packs, my kids have them in their things. Everybody in the Talbert family knows exactly what the plan is. This is a little USB drive. Stick it in my computer. I call it everything that my wife would send me back into the burning house to get. Wheat Ridge is doing a great job of trying to get its community to be more resilient, to get its citizens to be more prepared, and that helps them in a disaster to be more efficient and effective in applying their resources.
It's very important that neighbors kind of watch out for neighbors in the time of disaster, because one of the challenges that we have from the police department, especially when you get into the functional needs population, is we may not always know of someone that who's, let's say their power is out, but they need oxygen. We may not know of that resident on a block, and neighbors know neighbors and can either alert us that there's somebody that might have special needs or check on them themselves. That's quite helpful in the time of the disaster.
We really have changed in technology over the years, and now currently there's a wonderful ability for us to communicate directly to our citizens through the electronic devices that we all own. Most of the dispatch centers have moved to an electronic notification system whereby our citizens need to opt in, and that's a step you need to take because oftentimes you're not at home when the disaster's hitting, and we want you to know what's happening in your community at all times. Wheat Ridge is fortunate to have an alert system that includes sirens. And those sirens were really designed to alert folks who are outside to move inside. And once you move inside, it's important to turn on 85 KOA, which is our emergency alert system designated radio channel, or your TV, to listen to the emergency messages that are coming across the screen, because you'll be given direction, you'll be given specific information on the steps you need to take to be safe as an individual and also for your family.
We want our communities and our people in our communities to be resilient, to be able to bounce back, to be able to be resources instead of just casualties.
We would like to see all citizens better prepared. One interesting fact is that greater than 90% of the time, a citizen is the first responder on the scene of an incident. We want to empower our citizens to know exactly what to do in preparation for a disaster so that they will be calmer in responding when we do have a disaster.
You know, the vision of the Wheat Ridge Police Department is exceptional people providing exceptional service. And our mission is to provide that service in partnership with the community. Emergency preparedness is one of the areas that we can provide exceptional service in keeping the people of the city safe. For more preparedness information, we have several links on the city website. The best one for preparedness information is www.readycolorado.com. Also, during the time of an emergency, we do our best to keep the most recent information that we have on the city website. So the city website is an excellent resource, both for preparedness and during the time of the actual disaster.